What's up guys, Reese here from reese3d.com. In this video we are going to create an image gallery using thumbnails in Adobe Animate with ActionScript 3. Now I have included some files in the description so you can actually download them and use them. So these include 6 pictures. You can either use the cats or you can use the babies, and then we also have a thumbnail image gallery start file. So if you open the start file, you will see exactly what I'm saying here so that you can actually follow along with me. Without any further ado, let's get started. Alright, so if you just look at the thumbnail gallery start file, you will find 3 layers. So first we have our background. If I hide the other ones, you can see that this is just the background. And if I turn on this frames, you will actually find just some placeholders for where you're going to put these pictures. So we have space for 3 thumbnails, and we have space for displaying 1 image. So when I click on each of those thumbnails, I want to see the image showing here. So we also have 1 layer, that's the empty layer, which just says baby. So that's where we are going to bring in these pictures. So to bring in a picture, let's just make sure that we are in a layer which is not locked, right? And we're just going to drag the picture from the Windows Explorer. So I'm just going to click on this baby one, click and drag, and just drop here. And I have made sure that, or I actually cropped all the pictures to fit exactly in the same space. So if you're creating or if you're using new pictures, you need to make sure that you're actually cropping them to fit into this exact space. Now, to know exactly what is the pixel height and width, you can actually see here it's 700 by 467. Now we can adjust it if needed to make it bigger or smaller. Great. So we just brought in the first picture. Now, if you look at the library here, okay, you'll see that it says baby1.png. This is basically a bitmap image. All right, so now that we have brought our picture in and we have placed it right where we wanted, we can actually have one more copy for using it as a thumbnail. Now, for the thumbnail, I'm going to create a new layer. Okay, so these are going to be called as thumbs or buttons, whatever you want. THUMBS, okay, just for saying there's the thumbnails. And all I have to do is I can actually bring this picture one more time, and this time I have to make it smaller. So I'll go to properties here, and I know exact size that's needed there. So I'll make sure that I have this lock turned on. So that means whatever change that I make here, it is also going to change the height. So if when I change the width, it's going to change the height. Now if I turn this off, watch what happens. It just stretches or squeezes the image, which is something unnatural. We should never do that. So I'll lock that there, and I'll say 200. That's going to fit exactly there. All right. So now keep in mind, I need to convert this into a button. Okay, so let me just right click here and choose convert to symbol. So this is going to be called as BB for baby, and I'll say this is the first picture, so I'll say BB1 and underscore BTN, that's the short form for button. I'm going to say make this button, and I'll hit OK for now. Now we'll leave it as it is for now because we need to add other stuff later. So let's just add the action script, make sure that everything works, and then we can do some fancying stuff to make things look a bit better. All right, so now we have the first image placed in 2 places, which is great. And now we need to bring in the second image. So for the second image, we need to have a second keyframe here. I'm going to make this enlarge the keyframes a bit because we don't need so much of keyframes, but let's see it bigger. All right. Now, let me just create a new keyframe here. So I'll right click here and say insert blank keyframe. So when I do that, you will notice that everything just disappears. Let's just get rid of this guides. They're just disturbing. We can go to view and choose guides and just turn that off. And I don't want the rulers as well, so I'll go to view and choose rulers off. Very good. And we can actually make this fit to window, so it actually fits the entire space. Great. I'll just add just a frame for these guys. So let's say insert frame. So I see my background and my frames, and I also want to get the thumbnail here. So I'll say right click and choose insert frame. Great. Now in the second frame, we need the second picture here. Okay, so for doing that, I'm actually going back to my images here. Now let's do something else here. I'll just copy this link or the path, and I'll go to file, and we can also import pictures directly like this. So I'll say import to stage, or we can also bring it to the library, but I'm just going to choose import to stage here. And let's just paste that path, hit open, and there it is. So that's my second picture. So that's the second baby. I'll hit open, and it asks me for something. What does it ask? This file appears to be a part of a sequence of images. Do you want to import the entire sequence? I'll say no for now, because I just want one single image here. And I'm going to place it right there. That's fine. And we also need to place a smaller version of the same image right inside the small space. So for doing that, we also need to make sure that we're going to the this frame here, right, or this layer here, because we want the smaller thumbnail to be placed there. Okay, so I'll go ahead and open my library, and here's my second picture. I'm going to bring that back here, and we need to make the size to be smaller, so let's make it 200, and I think that fits in perfectly fine. Good. Now this is an image which is in this frame, and this is an image that went to this frame. This is wrong. We want it in the first frame itself, because this is button, and we want the button to be accessible in all the pages. Okay, so I'm going to right click here and cut. If this happens, you will have to do this task. Okay, so go back here and paste. I can actually choose paste in place instead of paste center, so it just comes exactly in the same place. Now this keyframe, I didn't create it. How did it come? Okay, we can just choose clear keyframe, so that's going to get rid of that. So even in the first frame, even with this picture, we see both of them, and with this picture also we see both of them. So by doing this, I can actually just add one action script for this layer or this frame, and it works for all the other buttons as well. All right, so let's bring in the third picture also, and we will start with the action script. I'll choose insert blank keyframe here, so we get empty space, and we can just insert frame here. You can also use the shortcut key F5. Okay, and that shows up here, and also I can choose insert frame here to see these two images show up. All right, so let's just bring in the last picture. So this time I will also use file and import. And if you want, you can also, I'll show you the next method, that is the import to library. So what happens is the third picture, instead of coming directly to the stage, it just goes to the library. So that's the third picture. So I can just bring it down from there, drop it here, place him exactly where we wanted. That's it. And now I need the smaller version, so I'll go to the first frame here, making sure that I'm in the thumbs layer. And if you're not sure, maybe you're just messing up things, you can actually lock this layer so that it won't go to another layer. So that's it. And now I'm going to bring in the same picture. I need to make it smaller. I will go to properties, and there I can choose 200, and that becomes smaller, and I can place them over here. Great, so now we have the three buttons. I think I did not convert this into a button. We'll do that. I'll just check here. We have only one button. So the second image, we need to convert it to button, and then we can write ActionScript. Now I'll right click here and convert this into symbol. So here we'll choose button, and this is going to be called as BB2_BTN, and I'll say OK. So that's the second button, and I'm going to right click on this and convert this into a symbol. That's going to be a button too. So this is BB3, that's the third baby picture, _BTN. I'm going to hit OK for now. That's it. So we have 3 buttons, and we have the 3 images in 3 different places. That's great. All right. So now all I have to do is, if I press Control Enter, what will happen is it'll just cycle through all these pictures. We want to make this to be interactive. By clicking on these buttons, I want these images to show. All right. So before we write the action script, we actually need to give instance name for these buttons. So I'm just going to go here, and for this first button, I'm going to say an instance name of B1 underscore BTN. Okay, so that's the first button. And for the second one, I'm going to say B2 underscore BTN. Remember, there are 2 different names that we are giving for one button. Okay, so first one we gave the name as BB2. Now we're giving B2. Okay, so BB2, BB1, BB3 are the name of these buttons, which can have multiple instances. Keep that in mind. Okay, so I can bring them as many times as I want, right? But these names that we are giving here are instance names. Okay, so these names are just for this button, and this name is only for this button, and the name that I'm going to give here, that is B3 underscore BTN, is an instance name for this particular instance. Okay, great. So you know the difference between the symbol name and the instance name. Okay, so I'll go to add a new layer here. We'll call this as actions. All right, so in the first layer, I'm going to right click and go to actions. Okay, so let's write our first line, and before that, let's just test out what's happening here. Control Enter. So you can see that just running all fast. Okay, so let's first stop that. So I'll say stop open bracket close bracket. Okay, so now if I press Control Enter, there you go, it stops with the first image. So that's fine. All right, now let's go to the second line, and here we are going to create an event listener, and we will add a function to make each buttons to go to different places. Okay, so let me just add an event listener for our first button. So let's say B1 underscore BTN, and then dot add event LISTNER. So the color should change to blue, so keep that in mind. Okay, so you need to make sure that you're not making any spelling mistakes while writing an action script. Okay, so let's open bracket, and we're going to say mouse event dot click comma play 1. Okay, so play 1 is basically the function that I'm going to add down here. All right, so I hope everything looks good. Let me just make this bigger. All right, so I'm gonna say I'm gonna define the function now for play 1. I'll just copy this, and this is going to be function play 1 open bracket event colon mouse event colon void, and then we're gonna open up a curly bracket. Why did this extra came? Okay, no problem. And inside that, I'm gonna say go to and stop at 1. Oops. Close bracket. That's it. So here for the button 1, when I click on the button 1, I want to go to and stop at frame number 1. So we need to do the same thing for the other 2 buttons as well. So I'm going to copy that, paste, and this time the second one, it's going to be B2 button, and I'm going to say play 2 here and play 2 here, and it has to go to frame number 2 as well. I'm going to just paste that one more time. So this time it's going to be B3, click play 3, and stop 3. Here also play 3. Okay, so that's it. So just write this code, make sure that you make the spellings, everything correct, and copy paste, change to button 2 and play 2, which is the function here, play 2 same here, and go to and stop at frame number 2 because we want to go to frame number 2 for the second picture, frame number 3 for the third picture, and we have the stop command at the beginning so everything stops instead of just running crazy. I'll press Control and Enter here. Alright, so it shows up the first picture and stops. Let's try clicking on the second picture. Ta-da! Yes, it shows the second picture. When I click on the third picture, it shows the third picture, and that's it. So all the pictures are working fine. That's it. Great. So now let's do some fancy stuff. Okay, so instead of having a button that is not responding to my mouse much, let's just make it more interactive, and we can also make this area, this image, instead of just popping out, we can actually make a small sliding animation to make it become visible from being transparent. Alright, so let's just close that for now, and let's work on the button. Okay, so let's double click on the first button here. So we go inside and we have just the up state. Okay, so I want to add a little bit of effect here. So to add an effect, we need to have this object as a symbol. So I'm going to right click on this and convert to symbol. Okay, so we can make this as a graphic, and I'm going to write here, this is going to be like BB underscore BB1 underscore GR for graphic symbol. Okay, so we already have a button symbol. We are making a graphic symbol now. Now I'll go to overstate, right click and choose insert keyframe because we want the same content here. And in the first frame, I'm going to select that and select the object here and go to the properties of that object. Okay, so now you will find something called color effect. So if I go to tint, so it makes it 50%, 50% half visible, so let's just make it 50 exactly. So it looks like the image is a bit dull. So when I go to over, it becomes clear, and with normal state it is dull. That's fine. I'll go to down and I'm going to just insert keyframe here. The same image. I'll go to properties of the object here. I'll make it a bit smaller. The reason why I'm making it smaller here is because I want to make sure that all the buttons have the same size. So I'll make it 180. Okay, make sure that there's a lock here, turn it on. Okay, now when you do that, it might go to a side. That's because we have the control over there. We can actually move that slightly over here, and I can use my keyboard just to precisely place him something like that. Or we can actually go even higher, so let's say 190. I think that should be fine, better. Okay, and I'll use my arrows again just to place him exactly in the center. All right, so that's fine. I'll just go back here. We can test it out, Control Enter, and you can see it is dull. So when I move the mouse over, it becomes clear, and when I click on it, it becomes smaller, and it reveals that frame that we have in the back, which looks nice. It shows a kind of like a red border around it. All right, let me close that, and I want to do the same thing for these two. So I'll double click on that, go inside, convert this to a symbol. We're going to call this as BB2 underscore GR for graphic symbol. It's going to be graphic. Now you can actually turn this middle button on in terms of registration, so that you won't have that big problem of placing it in the center. So I'll show you this time. Hit OK, and I want to go to over here, insert keyframe, go to the previous one, select him, and I can go to color effects, make it tint, and I'll go to down, insert keyframe, and here we want to make it smaller, so let's say 190. You see, automatically it went exactly to the center because we changed the registration point. All right, And now let's just go back to the next one and go inside this. Let's convert it into a symbol. So right click and change to convert a symbol. And this is going to be bb3_gr. Registration point is in the center. That looks fine. I'm going to right click here and insert keyframe. And the previous one, we're going to change the color effect to tint. Okay. And let's go to down, insert keyframe. If you think I'm going fast, you can actually pause anytime, rewind, playback. That's totally up to your freedom. Okay, so now let me select that one more time and let's make it 190 so it goes to the exact center. That's perfectly fine. And we're done. Let's just press Control Enter here and we have all the buttons animating perfectly fine. Okay, if I click on this, it shows me the border. If I click on this, and that also shows me the border. If I click on this, it shows me the next image and it looks perfectly fine. Okay, whichever image or thumbnail that I'm clicking, it's showing me that exact picture. Now let's finally add one more little effect to these images that are showing up here. Okay, so let's go to this first image, and this is basically just an image, so there's nothing there. So we're going to convert this into a movie clip. Okay, so before you convert it into a movie clip, actually we need to make this into a graphic symbol. Okay, so one other thing that we can do is, instead of just converting this into a graphic symbol, we can also bring in this graphic symbol that we already have. So that's up to you. So if you want to just convert this into one more graphic symbol, then create the animation inside it, or you can just bring this over here as well. So let's just use this one itself. I'm not going to bring that over here. I'm going to right click on this, convert a symbol, and we're going to make this into a movie clip symbol. Okay, so we have 3 symbols for each of the images so far. All right, so I'm going to call this as bb1_MC, that stands for movie clip. So this is a movie clip symbol. I'm going to hit OK. All right, so that's created there. Now we want to create an animation inside the movie clip symbol. Okay, so let's just double click on that. So that goes inside the movie clip symbol. Now how do you know that you're inside the movie clip symbol? Because up top here inside scene 1 we have bb1_MC. So that means we are inside the movie clip symbol. And also you will see down here, okay, so there is no keyframes or no layers that were there before. So if I just go back here, you see you've got a lot of content, and that's our scene. Now if I double click on this, now we are inside the movie clip symbol, so that's why we don't see those layers and stuff like that. Great. Now inside this I want to create an animation. I want to create a motion tween here, okay, or classic tween, or whatever kind of animation that you want. Now to have a classic tween or as a motion tween, we need to have again a symbol here, right? So this is where you can either use the you can either convert this image into another symbol, or I'm going to delete that and bring in my graphic symbol that I already had. Now this might look smaller. I hope it's not going to lose its quality when I make it bigger. So let's just type in here 700, press enter. Good, it's not losing its quality. Okay, so that's my graphic symbol. Now if you want, you can actually create a new graphic symbol. That's totally up to you. I just want to keep things simple, not have too many symbols running around here. Okay, so now I'm going to create the animation here. So this is our graphic symbol. So if you don't know, if you have doubt, you can just double click on that, see inside. Yeah, that is our graphic symbol. Now I'll go to frame number 30 here, insert keyframe. So this is the final look that I want. I'll go to the first frame and change this into transparent. I'll go to color effects, click on that, make it alpha, and make the alpha 0. Okay, so now to have the animation, I can right click and convert, oh sorry, create classic tween. There you go. Okay, so we have a nice animation here. And what happens now is, this is the first image that we have, right? So let's just press Control Enter and see what happens. So it comes out nice, and it just keeps on doing that over and over again. We want the image to become visible, and we want it to stay there. Okay, so for doing that, we just need to add an action script. So I'll go inside the movie clip, go to the end, actions, and I'm gonna say stop, oopsie, stop, open bracket, close bracket. That's it. So now if I press Control Enter, you'll see it comes up and it stays there. That's perfect. Okay, so now let's do the same for the other images as well. So I'll try to do it as quick as possible. So if you don't understand, if you have confusion on this, please rewind and watch it again, or just continue watching the next one. Okay, I'm going to do the same steps once again. So this is our image. Now let's convert this into a movie clip symbol, or I'm going to delete this for now. And as I told you earlier, I'm going to bring in this second image's graphic symbol. So I'm going to make this graphic symbol bigger here to make it fit, or I can actually give an exact number here, that is 700. I'm going to put him exactly where it was, and I will convert this into a movie clip symbol. So keep in mind, the basic concept is you need to have a movie clip symbol and then a graphic symbol. So if you have the graphic symbol and the movie clip symbol is inside the graphic symbol, this is not going to work. Okay, so watch that and do things very carefully, exactly as I'm doing here. So this is our graphic symbol, you see, but we need a movie clip symbol before that. So I'm going to select the graphic symbol without going inside of any symbols. I'm going to right click and choose convert a symbol. So I'm converting the graphic symbol into a movie clip symbol. So this time it's going to be bb2_mc, stands for movie clip. All right, so basically if you look at the library, you will have 3 symbols for each image. Okay, so bb1 has got a button, bb1 has got a graphic, bb1 has got a movie clip, bb2 has got a button, bb2 has got a graphic, bb2 has got a movie clip. So if I double click on this image, you will see that it's a movie clip, which is denoted by this little image, and if I double click on this, it shows a graphic symbol. So scene, movie clip, and then graphic. That's correct. Okay, so let's come out of that graphic symbol because we're going to animate this graphic symbol. So starting from here, let's go to frame number 30, insert keyframe. Let's go to the beginning, select the symbol, select the graphic symbol, go to properties and color effects, alpha, so that becomes transparent. Now to have the animation, right click and choose create classic tween. That's it. And we have our animation there. At the end, we're going to add an action script saying stop, open bracket, close bracket. That's it. Let's close that for now. I'm going to do the same step for the last one. So if you did not understand with these two, watch carefully. Okay, so let's go here. I'm going to select this last image. I'm going to delete this image because we're going to bring that symbol here. And I'll go to library. And we have our bb3 graphic symbol. I'm going to bring that graphic symbol. I'm going to make that size bigger by choosing here 700, and we need to fit it exactly in the same location. And this is our graphic symbol. I'm going to convert that graphic symbol into a movie clip symbol, convert to symbol. We'll call this as bb3_mc, that stands for movie clip. Hit OK. There you go. Great. So now we need to go inside the movie clip symbol. We need to make sure that this is a graphic symbol. Fine. Now let's come back. And next we need to go to frame number 30. I'm using frame number 30 because we're running at 30 frames per second. So I'm having an animation of 1 second. I'll go to right click and choose insert keyframe. So we get the keyframe here. I'll go to the first frame, select the graphic symbol, and you know the graphic symbol's name is showing here, and color effects, let's make it alpha, that's 0. let's go to the last keyframe, go to actions. We're gonna write here we're gonna write here stop, open bracket, close bracket, close everything, and I think we're done for everything. Let's go back, press Control Enter, and we have our first image showing up. And if I click on this one, it shows the second image. Click on this one, it shows third image. Well, we forgot to do one little thing. Okay, the third one is not having the animation, so let's go check it out. Let's select this guy, double click. Yes, we forgot to add the classic tween. All right, so now let's press Control Enter, and there you go. First one, second one, third one, first one, second one, third one. Okay, so one last thing. I don't like the way the red color is showing here. Okay, so but I like the red color here for the frame. If you want, you can also remove that as well. So we're gonna get rid of that red frame that we have here. So let's go to scene 1, and we have our frames. It's being locked for now, so let me unlock that, and I'll select this piece here and delete it. Oops, I deleted the layer here, so what I'll do is I'll actually hide this or lock it. We can actually lock everything else to make sure that we're not deleting the ones that we'd want. So I'll select this one and hit delete. There we go. I should actually do that in the first frame here. Select that, delete that. There you go. So we need to make sure that it's not showing anywhere, and I hope that these guys are still there. Yes, that's fine. Now once we're done, we can actually lock everything so that we don't make any mistakes. There you go. So that's our first image, that's our second image, that's our third image. Okay, so I purposely kept this little background starting from the center, so it looks cool, isn't it?